All right, Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. It's the big fight this month. Manny Pacquiao thinks Keith Thurman is acting like Keith Thurman is easy money, and Keith Thurman is acting scared to death of Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. And I don't care what either one of those fan bases have to say. We'll talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And also, I want to take a second out to say thank you very much to the new patrons we have on the Patreon channel. Thank you so much to the people that donate in the super chats for the live streams. And thank you to everybody that watches the videos, my constant group of people. Appreciate you, cats like Chris Ray. You know who I'm talking about, that come and watch the videos. You know, we raise money through this channel and we have ads in the videos. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate your understanding. And let's get into this. There are two groups of people that have been really ticked off at me leading into this Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao fight. And they are the Manny Pacquiao fans and Keith Thurman's fans, all three of them. All three of Keith Thurman's fans are mad at me, and all of Manny Pacquiao fans are mad at me for saying what I think about this fight. It is I think it's a fight that I lean towards Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman is a very good fighter, and Manny Pacquiao is 40 years old. But I would not be surprised if Manny Pacquiao won the fight. That is my belief. That's how I see the fight. I am not Dwyer Boxing. Shout out to Dwyer Boxing. Does great videos about gambling on the sport of boxing. I don't talk about gambling. I don't gamble. So I don't have to firmly pick one guy or another. I can walk in there and say, I don't know for sure who's going to win. Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter. Keith Thurman is a very, very good fighter, but he's a young, very, very good fighter against an old, great fighter, right? So this is like an old, great little man versus a prime, very good young man. Hey man, is the greatness there enough to overcome the youth over here? I don't know. Is the youth, is the talent and the experience enough to overcome the youth and the skill? I don't know, because I think that's what Manny Pacquiao has. Manny Pacquiao is one of the most talented fighters that I've ever seen. Talented. He does things that are unorthodox that would get other people knocked out, and he does it successfully, similar to Deontay Wilder and similar to Roy Jones Jr., similar to Muhammad Ali and other people who are fundamentally a little awkward, a little different, that if you try to repeat what they do, like lunging in there like that, like Manny Pacquiao does, lunging in and letting your hands go, you might get countered, where Manny Pacquiao is quick enough and can see him and has done it long enough to be able to work like that. But I don't know who's going to win the fight. Both of these fan bases are ticked off at me. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care. Because I'm going to repeat this. Manny Pacquiao said in an article that he did not pick Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman looked vulnerable in his last fight. I think that is Josecito Lopez. Somebody can check the name of the fighter for me and let me know in the comment section. That would be greatly appreciated. And also, I look forward to talking to you guys in this video in the comment section. So leave your comments in the comment section. Manny Pacquiao said that he didn't pick Keith Thurman for that reason. I don't believe him. I believe that if he wasn't picking him because of that, he would have taken the challenge that was issued him in the ring when he went to the Errol Spence Jr. versus Mikey Garcia fight. This is my belief based on what I saw in the ring, and I don't see why Manny Pacquiao would fly from the Philippines to Dallas to watch a fight and sit front row with Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia if there wasn't some conversation going on about him fighting the winner of that fight. Personally, I think I think, this is my opinion, that if Mikey Garcia had won, Manny Pacquiao would be fighting Mikey Garcia. But he didn't. He got shellacked. Okay, he got shellacked in a one-sided beatdown. The only success to that fight, there's only two things for Mikey Garcia that were successful in that fight. He didn't get knocked down, he didn't get knocked out, and he got a big paycheck. Other than that, it was a nightmare from round 1 to round 12. He didn't win a single round on that. He didn't win a single round in that fight. And if his name wasn't Mikey Garcia and he didn't have some cachet to that name, the ref would have waved it off after he got hit with 19 straight punches. Errol took a break and hit him with 17 more straight punches. And that's why I believe Manny Pacquiao don't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. Because I think that would be a scenario. And I think for the people that call me Errol Spence Jr. fanatic, I'm not a fanatic. I'm just a big fan. I think that's a great fighter. From what I can see in that young man, I think that dude's a great fighter. That's my new Tito. And people familiar with the channel know that during the 90s, 2000s, one of my top 5 fighters, actually all time, one of my top 5 all-time fighters is Felix Tito Trinidad. And the beatdown that I see Errol Spence handing out to people look like Tito 2.0 to me. But that's just my thing. But I think he's a great fighter. I think Keith Thurman is a very good fighter, which is why I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao was ducking all the smoke possible and ain't willing to fight anybody. That's obviously not the case. But Errol Spence Jr., that was gonna go horribly wrong for Manny Pacquiao. Horribly wrong for Manny Pacquiao. Devastatingly wrong for Manny Pacquiao. And he didn't want it. So he took the next best option for a championship, which was Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, on the other hand, I'm getting criticism from all 3 of Keith Thurman's fans who popped back up out of the grave that they've been in for the last 2 years, or hiding over there in the pro Terence Crawford camp, and now fight week they can slide on over. You know, y'all my subscribers, and I love messing with y'all, but it is what it is, man. Keith Thurman act like he don't want Errol Spence Jr. either. He's saying he doesn't want Errol Spence Jr. My understanding is, I haven't gone through all of the videos for Ness on the Boxing Voice, shout out to the Boxing Voice, that he said he's not looking for Errol Spence Jr. next. If he's not looking for Errol Spence Jr. next, assuming that Errol Spence gets past Sean Porter, who's another really good fighter, what is he gonna do? Who's he gonna fight? He says he's not interested in Terence Crawford, who's the WBO champion, who's probably gonna be fighting Igis Kavanaughis, the Green Machine. He's gonna beat the Green Machine more than likely. And I always say more than likely. I always say more than likely because anything can happen. It's not that I'm hedging. Well, I guess I am hedging. I'm hedging against the fact because of the fact that there are nothing promised in this world. But I would favor heavily Terence Crawford over the Green Machine. Sean Porter said, Keith Thurman said he's not interested in it. Why? Because these guys, they're saying they were more interested in Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. The guys who were champions at 147 before those 2 dudes who are now almost universally considered the top 2 welterweights, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, came to the weight division. It's like Keith Thurman wants to keep living in the past. So I'm sorry, fans of Keith Thurman. I gotta call it like I'm calling it like it is. Keith Thurman does not seem as if he wants to fight Errol Spence Jr., and that is questionable. That's highly questionable. Manny Pacquiao is a 40-plus-year-old fighter. He is somebody that has lost 4 out of his last 11 fights. Manny Pacquiao fans, those are just the facts. Don't get mad at me for saying the facts. What I see, my opinion isn't the fact. It's not a fact that Keith Thurman is going to beat Manny Pacquiao, because the fight hasn't even happened yet. The fact of what will happen will be established. What did happen will be established after the fight is over. And Manny Pacquiao has a very good chance of winning that fight. I just don't believe that he's going to do it. So, like I said, man, I'm a bigger fan. I don't know if I've said this yet. I'm actually a bigger fan of Manny Pacquiao than I am of Keith Thurman. Because I think Manny Pacquiao, despite the rumors and the heavy belief that people have about him having used performance-enhancing drugs in his career when he was coming up and beating Margarito, De La Hoya, Hatton, Cotto, Mosley, right? When he was doing all that time and there was such a big suspicion about him being on performance-enhancing drugs. Other than that stuff going on, I think Manny Pacquiao is pretty much a stand-up guy, man. And I think he is somebody, unlike other people, that will give you rematch after rematch after rematch. He's one of these rare great champions that will step in with a Juan Manuel Marquez 4 times. Keep doing it. We'll go back with Marco Antonio Barrera. We'll go back in there with Tim Bradley. You know, there's a lot of really good things about Manny Pacquiao and a lot of good things that he's done in his career. I love how he represents the people in the Philippines, and how he gives his time, gives his money to try to make people's lives better. He seems like an all-around good dude, man, who really carries a very heavy burden very well. He doesn't crack under the pressure. He believes in himself. Seems like he's a really good dude, man. So I'm a fan of Manny Pacquiao. I am not a fan of the overhyped, unrealistic crap that gets thrown on top of fighters. Keith Thurman, I think of Keith Thurman as a very good fighter himself. But Keith Thurman, over the last 2 years, has just been real flaky, man. He's just been real flaky. And you guys can tell me, oh, you know, he's just hyping the fight. He's just hyping the fight. You know, get on him for 9. He's just hyping the fight. Nah, man, I mean, that's all. Only thing I can judge you on is what's coming out of your mouth. I'm not going to go into your head. I'm not going to try to get into his mind and figure out why exactly he's saying the things that he's saying, right? He's hyping the fight, yeah, but he's saying the things that he's saying. He's putting that stuff out there in the universe, and he's saying it in a manner where he expects people to believe him. It is what it is. I'm a huge Ali fan, and I know he was trying to hype the fight with George Foreman, but hey, man, he called the dude a gorilla, and that shit was way overboard. It was way overboard, and he needs to be criticized because of what he said. Same thing goes for Keith Thurman, man. You keep acting like you don't want Errol Spence Jr., even though he's another champion in your division. If you act like you don't want Terence Crawford, then I'm going to think that you really don't want to fight him. If you acting like you ducking him and you don't want to fight him, then I'm going to believe that you're ducking him and you don't want to fight him. That's all I can do. If you dismiss the man's accomplishments and his ticket sales in Dallas, or his pay-per-view numbers in Dallas against Mikey Garcia, I'm not going to think that you just said it to hype the fight. I'm going to think you said it because you mean it. That's not my responsibility, nor is it realistic of me or even fair of me towards Keith Thurman not to believe that he means what he says. And that's how I'm going to do it. But anyway, I can't wait till this fight is over, because any way it goes, I'm going to hear a lot of stuff from Keith Thurman's fan base and Manny Pacquiao's fan base. And all I can hope is that at the end of the day, that it's a very, very good fight. Let the best man win, and let the best man fight Errol Spence, the winner of Errol Spence and Sean Porter, or the winner of Terence Crawford. And if he fights Aegis, the Green Machine, I'm not going to say his last name, whoever that is, let him fight the winner of either one of the 2 other welterweight championship fights that are going to be going on in this second half of the year 2019. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.